staying with friends turns into a nightmare.
What made living in this place hell for you?
It was so bad that sometimes I wake up and I had no breakfast, you know?
Sorry.
You know?
He eats like a pig, constantly eating.
But this dispute is about much more than food.
You went back to get the computers. You say they refused to give them to you.
Yes.
You all are saying he came back and picked the computers up. So one of you is outright lying.
Plaintiff Major Lassiter is suing his former friends for personal property he claims they won't return. He is accompanied in court today by his friend Wandell Blake. Defendants Spencer Tunstall and Royce Mosley say he claimed all his belongings and are countersuing for monies owed and defamation.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, we have Lassiter versus Mosley and Tunstall.
Thank you, Barbara. Major Lassiter?
Yes.
You are suing the defendants Royce Mosley and Spencer Tunstall for $5,000 for personal belongings, lost wages, and pain and suffering?
Correct.
And you are countersuing for $1,400? And what's the basis of your countersuit? Defamation of character?
Defamation of character and with a promise to pay also.
Okay, all right. So we'll hear from you first, Mr. Lassiter. How do you know the defendants?
I met Royce at Thanksgiving, like 2003. Then I met Spencer afterward, outside in the club at a bar. We became friends, had no problem with that. So they moved to Georgia, and I was always my interest to move down there.
Where were you living before that?
Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Okay, and when did you move to Georgia?
May 5th. Yeah, so then I moved in, and what happened...
Well, you moved in with them?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. So what was that arrangement?
Well, I had paid them $300 a month.
Was it a house or an apartment?
Apartment, yes. It was
Okay.
an apartment. So they had 2 bedrooms, so I was in one. When I moved down there, Spencer met me at the train station. Royce came home that night. We greeted each other, had a good time. And so I'm thinking, okay, this is good. So Royce went in the bedroom, and so he was in the bedroom, and I couldn't understand why. So Spencer said he wasn't feeling well. So, okay, great. So the next day...
This was the first night that you arrived in Atlanta?
Right. Then the next day came along, you know, breakfast time. I believe they maybe fixed a breakfast. You know, chef and he's a cook and things like that. So we had breakfast, and then, you know, basically the next day it was feast and famine. So
What do you mean by that?
That means some day we eat and some days we don't. I get up in the morning, they didn't have breakfast for the next day. There's nothing
Well,
there.
was the agreement that they would cook and food for you?
No, that wasn't really it. But the thing was...
So you could get food on your own if you wanted to,
yes.
correct?
He didn't do it. Excuse me.
Okay,
I
what was the arrangement, gentlemen?
He never had any money. He came
Are you
down
Royce?
There. I'm Royce. I'm
Okay.
Royce, Your Honor. Royce Mosley. He never had any money. He came with, was supposed to give us, he agreed to give us the $75.
Why did you agree to allow him to move to Atlanta to your apartment?
Because he wanted to get his own place. We agreed to that, but then we found out he was going behind our back trying to put himself on our lease, having mail come to our house. We had already told him he needed to get a P.O. box. We can't put anybody on our lease. That is not how it goes on our property.
Okay, so was there an agreement in place as to how long he would be able to live with you?
Basically, yeah. Because when we found out that he was getting $1,500 a month and we pay $600, he could go in a month. There was no need for him to stay.
Did you talk to him about that?
Yes, we did. We talked to him about the money that he never gave us. $300. We're waiting for it. Keep asking him, can we have some, go give us some money? Go give us some money. We got the cable put on in that room for him. He's eating 3 squares a day. Also, the witness that came for 2 weeks too. His witness came for 2 weeks, and I was reading that he says we didn't feed him. I'm like, he eats like a pig.
I did
all
not,
day,
Your Honor.
all day, constantly eating. He ate 3 squares. He give me a space. We help him. We eat. And we are country boys. If you come to our house, you're gonna eat.
He eats more than us. And I told him one time before, you're not going to eat more than me when I'm the one that buys the food.
Because he gets so much on his SSI, he can only get $40 of food stamps. He came with $4.
That's not true.
He came with $4.
That is true.
Okay, so let me get an understanding here. So you moved down to Georgia because you want to move there. You want to live in Atlanta.
Yes.
And the agreement is you'll stay with them for a short time period and find your own place.
Correct.
That never happened.
Never gave us a dime.
And you had to put him out because he wasn't paying any money.
We never put him out.
No, we didn't.
We never put him out. He left on his own.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
what we had told him, the day that he left, his check came on his card. He tried to sneakily show me that he got the money, his money on the card. So Royce told him, well...
So hold on a second. So you're getting what in terms of income?
Okay, I was getting like $1,500 a month. Okay, so...
Of what? Social Security?
Yes.
Disability?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and you get that directly deposited into what?
Yes, a bank account in Atlantic City. I moved to Georgia, and they didn't have my bank up in Georgia, so I had to keep the card.
Did you agree to pay them money?
No, not that month. The month of May, I was completely paid off.
You paid them money?
Yes, an overage.
Okay, do you have receipts?
I have the receipt for when I moved down there. This is the receipt.
And you're saying he never paid anything, right?
That was
he just never paid us nothing.
That was one receipt that I have when I moved there. And then this is when they displaced me against the Georgia law. They broke the law and displaced me.
Oh, you mean they evicted you?
Yes.
How long did you live there before you say they displaced you?
A month.
Okay, you weren't on any lease or anything
Judge,
like that?
I have a lease right here.
So...
Okay, but he wasn't on that
about
lease,
that
right?
No,
lease,
he's not on this. This is the
about
current
the
lease.
And they talking about I tried to get on their lease. I went down to the housing department to put my name on to apply for an apartment. So on the application, I put their address. I was told I could not do that.
Well, this shows that he did transfer at least $100 to your account, sir. I mean, I know it's not much, but in May,
No, but
he did transfer.
That had nothing to do with that $75 a week, Your Honor.
How long did you live there?
A month.
1 month.
Now,
what was it like
correct.
living there for that 1 month?
They treated me like hell. They basically...
By giving you cable.
If he wasn't paying anything, why did you give him cable?
Because
was trying to make him comfortable for that duration. That was all. He did not have a closet. He did not have a dresser in there. It was just keeping him comfortable in there so he could get his own place.
So he's cooking every day, right?
Both of us.
And
No, well-
they're cooking every day, and you're not cooking. So, but you're eating.
Yes.
So I'm trying to understand, like, what made living in this place hell for you?
So it was so bad that sometimes I wake up and I had no breakfast. You know.
I'm sorry.
You know.
Come to think of it, when the $100.
So I had to go.
Sir, how old are you?
I'm 54 years
Okay,
old.
you're 54 years old. You're a
Yes.
grown man.
Yes.
It is no one else's responsibility to wake up and cook you scrambled eggs and
That's
turkey
correct.
sausage in the morning.
Yes.
That's your responsibility.
So, yes.
So if you want to eat breakfast, then you buy food
Right.
and you can cook it for yourself.
Okay.
Coming up on Judge Faith, who is telling the truth?
They basically was bamboozling me out of my money.
What money did you
things
give
like
us?
That. Yeah, I paid $300 to move in, to $100 that I sent down there.
Lies.
Plaintiff Major Lassiter is suing his former friends for personal property he claims they won't return. Defendants Royce Mosley and Spencer Tunstall say he ate them out of house and home and gave them nothing.
Do you think that they were not only giving you a place to stay, but is it your
No, he was bringing
understanding?
strange people
It
in
was
the
your
house.
understanding that they were also going to take care of you as if you are their child?
No, I did not need
Well, that's
that.
what Major
I'm a
always
very
wants somebody to take
independent
care of him.
person, and I don't need anyone to do that for me. So they basically was bamboozling me out of my money, and
What money did you
things
give
like
us?
that. So,
What money did you give
I want
us?
you to tell me the total amount you say you paid to them during that time, during the month you lived there.
Okay, let's see. I paid $300 to move in. In fact, a little more than $300. The $100 that I sent down there.
Lies.
Then what happened is also I had a credit card.
Tell me the number. Tell me the total amount you say you paid to them during that 1 month period.
Okay, I guess about 700.
Okay, and you only have proof of 100, correct?
Right.
Okay. You have a witness. Who's your witness? Stand up, sir.
One down.
What do you have to say about this?
Well, all I have to say about
How do you
this
know the
situation-
defendants, first of all?
I met them through him.
While he was living there?
No, in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
He's only known Major in a real time period, maybe 66, 78 days.
Okay.
Now, I mean that too. 2 weeks in Atlantic City, he stayed there. When he came down here to Georgia, he stayed 2 weeks with us in May. That's where the $100 came, because he eats too. Then he goes back to North Carolina. He gets his own place. Then this man shows up, and now he's moving in with Major.
Okay, so let's get to the claim in the case. You say that they unlawfully evicted you.
Right.
And they kept some of your property.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Okay, May the 5th, they said they could go to the library, and I could not, if I don't transfer the money to their account, I cannot use electricity, I cannot stay there. So I said, okay, fine, I'll be at the library. When y'all guys get back, call me, and I'll come back home.
What happens when you go back home that day?
Okay, so what happened, I was calling basically all day, and they finally answered the phone. They said, well, we're in bed, and so wherever you are, basically, you might as well stay. So, okay, I was with a friend. She let me stay there at home. So she said, don't put up, she can stay here, so she let me spend the night. Days went by, maybe I called the next day, and they wouldn't, I never could get through. So then I think the 8th, they texted me, so well, come get your things or we're going to throw them in the garbage. And I could just envision all my things in the garbage. So I went over there to the house. So what happened, Spencer was at the door, says, you know, I'll bring the things out. And I could not understand it. And then he puts the things on the steps. So I was about to leave. My girlfriend said, no, don't leave.
Did they let you go into the apartment?
No, he did not.
Okay, so they brought your stuff outside to you?
Yes.
With the officer?
Large things.
Were the police there
yes,
too?
No,
yes,
wait a minute first. So after he put, I said no. So the girl told me to check my things, make sure my things. I said, well, this is missing, that's missing. So she called the cops. Cops came there, knocked on the door. He says, you got to, let us in. He says, then you know that's a Georgia law. You can't put me out, right? So he says, oh, no, I did not know about it. You did know about it.
The police told them that they can't put you out.
That's right, because it's Georgia law.
So what happened?
So they reluctantly let us in, and then my computer's all the things around. So the officer says, look, this is his things.
So did you take your computers with you? Because you're suing because you say that they kept your computers.
Right.
What happened with the computers?
Okay, so the officer gave them like a 48 hours because Spencer was complaining that he was put some family pictures on there and things like that.
But it was your computer.
Correct.
So why is the officer giving them 48 hours to keep your computers and get material off of your computers?
Because he didn't have a stick to put it in to delete.
To save the material?
Yes.
Okay, too bad. You left, and you left your computers there.
Right.
How many computers?
A desktop and a laptop.
Okay. And so you go back when to try to get them?
The 15th.
And what happened when you went back to try to get them?
There was nothing around.
And did you have a conversation with them about where they were?
They said, well, where's the $50? I said, okay, I gave him $50.
What are you talking about?
$50 for what?
For the connection. The internet connection in the home.
Okay, they want you to pay for that. What happens after you give them the $50?
So he said, well, get out. I'm saying, well, where's my computers at? And so he says, it's not possible because you're not going to get it and, just get out. Very violently.
Okay,
very
so
violently.
You left without your computers. Did you call the police? What happened?
Yes, I did. Then I called the police. When I went outside, I called the police. So police officers, Mr. Lassiter, blah, blah, blah. And they said he doesn't have anything here.
But this is all part of
the police said that they didn't have the computers there?
Yes, the second time being there.
Okay, now, stop right there. You have a different story.
Yes,
you say that he actually came and picked up the computers.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Tell
did.
me about that.
You go ahead.
Okay, first of all, the officer told me we had 24 hours to get the stuff off the computer. We said, okay, fine. And the officer says, we're going to let Mr. Lassiter, if he needs an escort, to come back. I shook the officer's hand. I said, he certainly can. Mr. Lassiter didn't show up until the 8th.
Tell me about when he comes back and you say he picked them up.
When he came back with the officers, and they walked through the house to where he was at. That's how he got his stuff the first time. He wasn't sitting outside on the steps.
I'm asking you about the computers.
So, he came and got them. He did come and get them.
When?
On the 8th.
Tell me what happened when he came.
They was at the door, wrapped up, and he picked them up, and he was gone.
Coming up on Judge Faith, even more disappearing property.
I had my jewelry box sitting on the table right next to the chair where I usually sit. Major was at our apartment in Atlantic City. He went in the jewelry box and took them out the jewelry box.
So you think he took the worry dolls?
He did take them.
Plaintiff Major Lassiter is suing his former friends for computers he says they stole. Defendants Royce Mosley and Spencer Tunstall say they returned the property and the plaintiff is the taker.
Can you show me proof of the value of the two computers? What kinds of computers were they?
Yes,
One was a desktop, one was a laptop?
Now, these are when I got it shipped to this home, the desktop, and that was the laptop that I carried in the bag with me. These are some more estimates. That's from Aaron's.
And
the officer was kind of finished with him when he saw that in his property, he had some things that he stole
out of our house.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, your email is sexy pastor?
Yes.
Are you a pastor?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
No.
Okay.
Officer, judge.
That's another
He is
law.
not a pastor.
Where are you a pastor?
St. Gregory Church.
He is not an ordained pastor. I know him 14 years.
Sir, if he says he shares the word, I'm not going to contest that.
But, Your Honor, this is what I was here for is because he told people that we stole his computers and we didn't.
What is your counterclaim about?
About the fact that he did that. He went to some mutual friends of ours, and he told them.
He told people what?
That we stole his computer. And the pastor cut him off. He says, we don't want to hear that.
You all went to the same church?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, I
never
talk about your brothers like
pastor,
that. So then...
So you all brought this issue before the pastor of the church?
No, he brought it up in the Bible study.
Yes,
and the pastor said that he didn't want to hear it.
I did not.
And after that, the pastor He has never came back to the church because the pastor didn't want to hear that.
Well, that's because he's pastoring at another church now. Let me ask you something. Are you a witness to anything about the computers?
I know they was in their possession. I know I seen them there. He been having them computers for a long time, so if they would have given them to him, he would have still had them right to this day.
Okay, you're also suing for an African wallet?
Yes.
Can you tell me what that is?
Yes, my niece married an African from Cameroon, Africa. So they gave gifts to me, and so they gave me an African wallet. I had it for several years, for a long time.
Is it a small wallet?
It's a billfold.
Billfold. Okay,
Yes.
Do you have any proof that they kept that they have that?
Well, a lot of things were there. You know, I had my Bluetooth, earrings, and a pair of socks. Things, brand new socks.
But that was his whole world, though, Your Honor.
You also have a claim about worry dolls?
Yes.
Okay, what are those?
Can I bring them up to you? I got them right here.
Sure.
Well, these are some worry dolls. When I was going through my divorce, my sister gave me these dolls because they're like an Indian doll that like you're supposed to put all your worries on, and I was going through a hard time.
Oh, okay.
And
See, I'm from Louisiana, so when I look at dolls like this, I think about something else, but okay.
But anyway, in Atlantic City, I had my jewelry box sitting on the table right next to the chair where I usually sit. Major was at our apartment in Atlantic City. He went in the jewelry box and took them out the jewelry box. So
you think he took the worry dolls?
He did take them, because when I packed Major stuff up, they fell out of his stuff.
What do you do with the dolls? I don't understand.
I just keep them because they were sentimental to me, because my sister gave them to me when I was going through my divorce, just because I was about to lose my son. I lost my house. I lost everything at that point. And she just said, brother, just hang on.
Do you have the worry dolls?
No, I have them back because I found them in this stuff. And then when the cop was there, I showed him to the cop, and the cop looked at him. Oh, I can explain.
Yeah,
I can explain.
no,
And the cop said, no, you need to get now. You need to get up out of their house because you're not a resident here. You need to live. And we proved to the cop that he wasn't a resident. That's why the cop told me he could go and get his stuff out of his room and leave.
Right.
Here's the deal. You went back to get the computers. You say they refused to give them to you. Yes. You all are saying he came back without a police escort and picked the computers up.
Yes.
So one of you is outright lying about this. And I'm going to determine who it is.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
I do believe the plaintiff's testimony in this case, and I credit his testimony about the computers for a couple of reasons. One, I think you guys really believe that he still owed you money. And also, when he came with the police to get those computers, you still had them. So I know that they were there, and it was you that kept the computers because you had information on them and you didn't have a thumb drive. So you're the reason that he had to leave and go back and come back 2 or 3 days later to get the computers. I think you kept his computers. On your counterclaim for defamation of character, I think you kept his computers. It's not defamation when someone states what they believe is the truth. For the desktop computer, I'm going to award you a judgment based on the decreased value because they aren't new at this point of $375. For the laptop computer, I'm going to order them to pay you $649. My total judgment in this case is $1,024, and court costs, I'm ordering you to pay the plaintiff. Sir, I'm not awarding you pain and suffering because I think you have a lot to learn about living in someone's home. They're not supposed to do your laundry, cook you breakfast, or take you out to dinner. You're a grown man. You can take care of yourself. Have a good day.
Who's twisting the truth in court?
We having a breakdown in communication. She owes me 3 days of storage.
When we were leaving, he agreed he was going to let me come back to the house to get the rest of my stuff.
I don't know why this went negative.
I do not like when people come into my courtroom and look me right in my face and lie to me. And that is what you did.
Jennifer Huddock says her former landlord evicted her without notice and is refusing to return her belongings. She's suing for the costs of her personal property. She's accompanied in court by James Barnett. Defendant Trey Jackson says the plaintiff was legally evicted when she didn't follow the rules of the house. He's countersuing for back rent and fees.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Huddock versus Jackson.
Thank you, Barbara. Jennifer Huddock, you are suing the defendant For $3,000 for costs incurred for an illegal eviction?
Right.
And you are countersuing Mr. Jackson for $4,065 for back rent, late fees, storage costs, utilities, and administrative costs?
That's correct.
Okay. We'll start with you, Ms. Huddick. Can you tell me what kind of place it was?
It was a property where they rented all the rooms to different people. Okay, most of the rooms, there was 4 rooms. Mine was the very bottom. It was a 3-level house. All the rooms were rented to, like, college kids. Okay, they would throw big parties.
So you rented a room in the house.
Right.
And who else lived with you at that time?
With me, my 2 daughters. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old at the time.
Okay, so they lived in the room with you.
Right, and then he was coming and he was staying quite regularly, but he wasn't living there.
And who are you, sir?
I'm her boyfriend.
Okay, Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was staying there. I would go there just at night and sleep with, and then go home in the morning. I had my own place.
This is all in one room?
Yeah, it was like a garage-sized room, like a double-car garage-sized room.
So you were living in this room
Right.
with your 2 daughters. How much were you paying in rent?
I was paying $800 a month.
Did you have a lease agreement with the defendant?
No, never did.
Okay, but at some point, you come to an agreement with him. Not a written lease, but an oral lease.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, everything went fine, and then Trey told me at one time that he was only going to move in people who were, like, family-oriented, make it like a family home, people who had kids,
Okay, because you have 2 daughters.
Right.
You're telling me that there was a problem with the other people living in the unit. So you were in a month-to-month, correct?
Right, yeah.
So why didn't you move if you didn't like living there?
I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have any money to move.
We've been living there.
I've been there for a year and a half.
With not one complaint, not one problem.
Not one.
And then
That's key.
Okay, so tell me
what he said.
Tell me
what's
going on, sir.
When I acquired the property as the new owner in transition, I have a property management company that works under my enterprise. We buy property, and then my property management company manages the property. The former owner placed all these tenants.
Right.
She didn't make good decisions, and I'm gonna give her that. Okay, as far as the placement, there were college kids there. It's near a college. So when I came in, she was almost like a hostage situation as far as being able to move around the house with her kids.
Right.
I get that. So when she said, Trey, can you come over and do a pop-up visit and see what I'm going through? I did that. The tenants that was there, that was college kids, they was doing Facebook parties, 100, 200 people show up, disturbing the whole neighborhood. So I was like,
okay. What
okay.
is a Facebook party?
Facebook party.
Oh, where they post on Facebook, there's a party at this address and everybody comes over. Okay.
And this is a resident. This is not a hall.
Yeah. Right.
So it was out of control. I did a pop-up visit. I came in the dining area, which she was not allowed to come in because they took it over.
Yeah.
And I seen things on the table that was very disturbing.
Like what?
Paraphernalia.
Like drug paraphernalia. Okay.
So if I was those kids, her daughter's dad, uncle, brother, I would have lost it.
Okay.
So I stayed professional. I did the process through the courts, got them out.
Okay.
I was championing her 7-year-old, 10-year-old daughter. Right. That's what it was really about. Yeah. I don't know why this went negative.
Coming up, Trey calls the couple out in court, but Jennifer fights back.
He was there every night.
And is she not supposed to have overnight guests?
I have rules right here that she signed off.
No, I did not sign anything.
Because you never returned it.
I have it.
You
didn't give it to me until the last month before I moved.
Because you have
the last month before I moved.
And Judge Faith gets real.
Let me tell you something. Don't come in this courtroom and pretend to know anything about me or what I say or don't say.
Plaintiff Jennifer Huddick says her former landlord refused to return her belongings after evicting her illegally. She's suing for the cost of her personal property. Defendant Trey Jackson says if the plaintiff had just followed the house rules, she wouldn't have had a problem. He is countersuing for back rent and fees.
Why did you evict the plaintiff?
Mainly because of him and his presence at the facility.
What happened?
He was there every night from the hours. This is not hearsay. This is what she told me to my face. He comes between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Right.
He's not on the lease.
And is she not supposed to have overnight guests?
No.
I was only allowing them to have overnight.
At all.
I have rules right here that she signed off.
No, I did not sign anything.
Because you never returned it.
I have it.
You
didn't give it to me until the last month before I moved.
Because you have
the last month before
intentions.
I moved.
That's why you never returned
it.
Okay,
scandalous.
So you didn't want
talk about that.
Her boyfriend staying overnight.
I'll allow everyone in the house one night guests per week.
Wrong.
Okay.
For sanitary reasons, safety reasons. Okay?
And you're saying that he's staying there every night?
When I found that out through complaints of the new tenant, who she got into it with.
Were you staying there every night, sir?
Yeah, well, practically.
Almost.
You know, and like I said, I didn't have nothing never took showers there. I have my own place.
Never used the kitchen.
Never used the kitchen. Never
anything.
used. Yeah, didn't have no clothes.
I use it
or
every
nothing.
day, and you don't use.
Didn't do his laundry there.
You didn't take the.
He might have went to the bathroom.
Okay,
yeah.
that's utilities.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's what he's
All
told
right,
me
go
before.
ahead, sir.
That's what he's told me before.
Okay,
That's what
go
he
ahead.
said.
Okay, so she, in her mind, her loop-de-doo mind, that's not living there, because if he's just using the facilities as restroom, then he's not officially living there.
Okay, so at what point do you get to file for a notice of eviction?
When she was breaking all the rules, I gave her a 3-day covenant.
So you say that the eviction was unlawful, but I have paperwork here from the courts and from the sheriff. I mean, he didn't lock you out. The sheriff came and locked you out.
Okay, yeah.
So the eviction, by law, he can't do that unless you've been given notice and a writ of possession has been issued.
Okay.
So what's your issue? Why do you say it's unlawful?
I don't believe that I was served right. I don't believe that I was.
You were, ma'am. You
I
were.
went and I
read the paperwork thoroughly.
Okay.
You went. There was a notice of eviction filed,
right.
and you were notified.
Right.
You went down to court.
He came to me and told me I could stay. Did you not? Until August 12th.
Ma'am, you got notice that an eviction had been filed.
Right.
You went down to court, and you paid the court rent in the amount of $800, and it was stayed for 30 days,
which would have put me out on the 13th.
30 days only.
It would have put me out on the 13th.
You got another notice that the sheriff would come, because this is how the law works.
I never got another notice.
In 5 days, your things will be put out. And that's what happens when the sheriff comes. Okay? The sheriff gets a court order.
Can I tell you something?
The sheriff does not get an order from the defendant. The sheriff gets an order from court.
I understand that.
Okay?
I understand that. And he comes to me again and he says he's going to pull it. I believe him.
Did you tell her that you weren't going to evict her?
No, I never told her I was going to pull this.
This last time when she was actually evicted by the sheriff, did you tell her that you were not going to evict her?
No, I didn't, because she put in a stay of execution in May.
Right.
So when she did that, she let me know that she's a smart girl. She knows how to deal with the law and stop things. So I said, okay, I'll deal with that. You holding up my rent money because you got to pay it to the court. And I had to wait 4 weeks for me to get that check. And she put it in the former owner's name, so I really had to wait. So she knows how to deal with the court.
So what happened after the 30 days?
After the 30 days, her rent was due back up, and the 30 days of eviction kicked back in.
Right.
It's her job, not for me to call and say, hey, please hold my rent again by going down to the court. It's her job to go back to the court and say, hey, I need more time to find a job. Because she went to the court, and the excuse that she gave the judge was, my ankle's broken, Your Honor, I need more time to move out. It wasn't.
That's when the 30-day stay came in.
It came back in.
Put me out on the 13th of June. Okay? Why would the sheriff come and lock me out?
Ma'am, it is not an unlawful eviction.
Okay.
When the sheriff comes,
I get that
we
part.
already know that the eviction process was started. You went down to court. You had a 30-day stay.
Right.
Shortly after that, the sheriff came and you are evicted.
I get that part.
Okay. What's the next issue?
The next issue is...
You said that he locked you out and didn't let you get your things because you are allowed by law by 15 days. You are required by law 15 days to keep a property for 15 days. During that time period, you can come and get your property. What happened?
You know this is a real judge, right? She knows what she's talking about. You know that, right?
Let's play, Trey.
Okay.
Let's pray.
This is not play.
Okay.
So
I tried to go get my property. Okay, I went back the very same day that I was locked out, if you remember. Okay, I went back there with him and my daughters and a friend of mine. We all went up there to go get my stuff. He told me I can go in and get whatever I could. I went in. Later, he comes in and he tells me, okay, you got 15 minutes. So it was like, hurry up, hustle, get out, whatever.
Did I give you only 15 minutes? Don't lie.
No,
20 minutes.
I gave you an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, my God.
He gave us about 45 minutes, and then then he said,
half of it was
we got
talking.
20 more minutes left. So
Okay, so you had 45 minutes plus 20 minutes, an hour to get your things.
Coming up on Judge Faith, a shocking statement stuns the courtroom.
She ran up to me. She said, Trey, my kids are crying.
I was locked out by the sheriff.
That's not my problem. She said, well, we both parents. You should know how it is. I said, the difference between me and you is that, yeah, we both parents, but I would never let my kids be homeless.
Is that not rude?
She turned red. She ran up to my face, Your Honor, and said, you know what, Trey? You ain't gonna be nothing but an N-word the rest of your life.
No, I did not, Your Honor. Look at me.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
Did you call him that?
Plaintiff Jennifer Huddock says her former landlord refused to return her belongings after evicting her illegally. She's suing for the cost of her personal property. Defendant Trey Jackson says if the plaintiff had just followed the house rules, she wouldn't have had a problem. He is countersuing for back rent and fees.
So up until this point, this is accurate.
Right. When we were leaving, he agreed he was going to let me come back to the house to get the rest of my stuff.
No.
Okay, I went back to go to the house up there to go get the rest
What
of the
day
things.
did you go back?
I don't know what day it was.
3 days later. It was on a Friday.
Yeah, it was on a Friday. I think it was on the 10th.
I agree with that.
By the way, what was the real reason for the eviction? All of these problems in addition to, was it non-payment of rent as well?
It was non-payment of rent.
Okay,
and
that
I'm just
was...
going to leave it there.
Okay, non-payment of rent. When you evict someone lawfully, by law, you have to give them a time to come and get their things within the 15 days.
Yeah, I
so
understand
if
that.
she showed
Still
back
has
up,
it.
if you say there are damages to the property, there are other ways you go about getting restitution for those damages. But if she comes back and you tell her to come back and she's trying to get her things, you can't stop her from going in and then charge her storage for keeping her things there. May I have the list of the property you say was left, and do you have any proof? Do you have any proof that this property was left in
I don't have
your...
proof he has all of my property.
Do you still where's the stuff?
Some of it, Your Honor, I went up there. He told me I can go up there and pick up my stuff on a Friday. I went up there to go get it. I could go up there and get my mattress, is what he told me.
So what happened when she started calling, trying to get her property?
We having a breakdown in communication. She owes me 3 days of storage when she came back. She did not have any payment for that. So I do not have to give her anything if she don't have the 3 days. I just wanted the 3 days minimum.
Do you have any proof that this property was left inside of your
Everything I
unit?
own, he has. I was locked out by the sheriff. I don't know what else kind of proof I need to have.
She wasn't home when they locked her out. It was her daughter that was home, so she has everything was left behind.
Where's the property now?
The property is in storage.
No, half of it might be in storage.
I
half
want
of it was
her
on the
to
side of
have
the
her
house
stuff
broken.
back. I even brought family pictures that she cried to me about. I brought them with me today because I want her to have those.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. From the demon.
So here's the deal. So she owes you 3 days of storage, and that's it. Nothing else.
That's it.
So if
she didn't have the money that day.
Sir, listen to what I'm saying.
$30, $10, whatever.
I understand she didn't have the money that day, but she is only required to pay for those days that from the date that she was evicted up until the date that she came and tried to get her things.
I agree.
What else do you have?
This is what I have.
What else do you have?
What else I have is the day I denied her to get her stuff when she wouldn't sign the release. She ran up to me. She said, "Trey, my kids are crying. They want their toys and you won't let them have them." I said, "That's not my problem." She said, "Well, we both parents. You should know how it is." I said, "The difference between me and you is that, yeah, we both parents, but I would never let my kids be homeless. That's the difference." She took 5 seconds.
Right? Is that not rude?
She turned red. So she ran up to my face, Your Honor, and said, "You know what, Trey? You ain't gonna be nothing but an N-word the rest of your life." And when I say N-word, it wasn't G-A, it was E-R, like we was in 1951.
Did you call him that?
Look at me. No, I did not, Your Honor. Look at me.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
I can't. I can't.
No,
I never
can't.
called you that, Trey.
You never
I don't
called me
call
that?
anybody that.
After she called me the N-word, she was about 5 inches away from my face, spitting on me and everything. I was sitting in my truck. Then she goes...
You weren't even in a truck.
Then she goes, "Your Honor..." Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I was in my car.
Oh.
Then she goes, "Your Honor, for the rest of your life, no matter what kind of cars you got, no matter what property you have, you can forever be a big lip N-word."
You are such
I was like...
Oh, my God. If my
I can
girls
take the
were here.
N-word because I've been called worse,
here.
but big lips, that drew the line. I drew the line on that. Sexy lips, maybe, but no. I drew the line on that. And I have a voicemail to prove that she used that word.
Okay, let me hear the voicemail. Because she's saying she doesn't use that word.
She uses that word.
Let's hear it.
She does not use it.
I've been trying to get a hold of you. I've been blowing up your phone, and I know you know it, so I don't know why the you continue to ignore me. Could you call me back? Could you please? I would appreciate it, because you lied to me when you told me that you were going to cancel my eviction. You were just trying to get my money out of me, and then you were going to have the police come and lock me out anyway. What a weasel. Call me back.
A weasel.
No, you're not going to call me back since I've been calling him. It's cheap. What does do? Act like you're
Boom.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I apologize then. I did say that then.
No, you thought...
I don't remember saying that.
Let me tell you something.
Wow.
On your phone, there's a red button.
Okay,
it says
I don't
end.
remember saying that.
You should practice pushing the red button.
Okay, folks, just listen. Talk to the judge,
I do
please.
not remember saying that, Your Honor.
Well,
you said it 3
sounds
times
just
on that
like
voicemail.
But
talk to the judge,
obviously
please.
I did, okay, but I do not remember. Do you remember how mad I was?
That's besides the point.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay.
This is a
Ma'am, you
business.
just told
You caused
me.
me to
Okay,
lose
I
money.
apologize.
You just testified before
I did
me
just testify.
that you didn't call him the N-word to his face.
That day.
You said,
No,
you said
I did
that
not
you
recall.
don't use that word.
That day.
And as a matter of fact, you said you never call someone the
call
N-word.
people that word.
And then 5 seconds later, he plays a voicemail. And how many times did you say it? 2, 3 times?
3 times, Your Honor.
Is that what you refer to black people as
No,
in
it is
general?
not.
Or
No, it
just
is
when
not.
you're upset with them?
No, it is not. Of course you
The
were trying
same
to
black
bring that
landlord
up.
that gave you $100 cash 2013.
How many
for
times are
Christmas.
you going to throw that in my face?
Because landlords don't give their
Sir.
tenants $100 cash.
Sir,
The same one that
I want you to
drew
stop.
him
All right,
I
I
want you to
apologize. I
stop
apologize.
talking.
I apologize.
Because I do not like
is wrong.
when people come into my courtroom.
Okay, I
look me-
apologize. I
I'm
do
not
not
finished.
recall.
I do not like when people come into my courtroom and look me right in my face and lie to me. And that is what you did.
I
If
did
you are
not intentionally
continuing,
lie
ma'am,
to you.
Ma'am,
Okay.
not only are you demonstrating to me right now that you use the most racist, derogatory, insulting, insensitive words towards black people, but you're demonstrating to me right now you cannot even admit it and tell me the truth.
My daughters are mixed.
I don't care if your best friend is black. It doesn't matter. I heard you call him the N-word.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. I cannot stand, because that is the number one thing people say. Oh, I'm not racist. But you know what? I just
My
happen
kids
to...
are biracial.
I don't... So what? So you're not a racist because your kids are biracial?
No, I'm a racist against him. I do not recall saying that.
So he's the N-word, but no other black person.
No,
That's your excuse for that.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
I am just amazed that in 2014, people still talk like that and refer to black people as the N-word.
That's how they refer to each other, though.
Yeah. I
Excuse
do
me?
not
That's how they
recall.
refer to each other.
Oh, okay, so I see you're just as ignorant as your little girlfriend. Let me tell you something. Don't come in this courtroom and pretend to know anything about me or what I say or don't say. But let me inform you of something. There are a lot of black people that choose not to use that word because we understand the degrading and historical context from which it stems. It doesn't matter if Jay-Z says it. It doesn't matter if Kanye West says it. Stop making excuses for your own personal choices. And don't play dumb. You know that there's a difference in the context and that word being thrown around in some rap lyrics and when you use it in a hurling and insulting manner. Now, let me tell you why I'm dismissing your case. Because you're going to think that I'm dismissing your case because you're an ignorant racist. But that's not why I'm dismissing your case. I'm dismissing it because you're a liar. You came into court and you lied to me to my face. Judgment in this case is for the defendant in the amount of $4,065, and I'm ordering you to return her property. Judgment for the defendant.
This former tenant says her bed was full of bugs, and her landlord needs to pay.
This shady slumlord rented me a bedbug-infested apartment. That was probably illegal.
You are now signing a lease with Mr. Bailey. You've already told me you had bugs. You already told me there was a leak. You already told me the door wouldn't close. So whose judgment are you trusting now, except your own?
And later, he wanted a ring with some bling, but he had no cha-ching.
I paid for the ring when it was my responsibility.
Right now, it's still sitting in collections. They call us every day.
And while their credit score is plummeting lower, he's living higher.
You don't want to pay for the ring anymore. That's what this is about. It's not that you can't pay for the ring. You've just decided you don't want to pay for the ring.
Plaintiff Linda Aguillo says her apartment was swarming with bed bugs, and her landlord needs to return her deposit and pay for the fumigation. Joining her in court is her sister, Esmeralda. Defendant Michael Bailey says the plaintiff left the apartment a disaster and owes for cleaning fees.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Judge, we have Aguayo versus Bailey.
Thank you, Barbara. Ms. Aguayo, you're here today suing your former landlord for $919 for the return of a security deposit and also for fumigation costs. Mr. Bailey, according to you, you don't owe because the plaintiff left trash and damages behind when she moved out. You're also countersuing for $500 for cleaning and repairs. Ms. Aguayo, I'll hear from you first.
Your Honor, this shady slumlord rented me a bedbug-infested apartment. That was probably illegal. And also refuses to refund me my security deposit.
How did you find this apartment?
I had moved in with 2 roommates, and they found it, and I trusted their judgment. I moved in, and I just met him the day I signed the lease.
Do you have a written and signed lease agreement?
Yes, I do. Here you go. But that's not the one that I'm here about. That lease got terminated due to bedbug bites.
Back up for a second. So you signed this lease with 2 roommates.
Yes.
Back on July 1st of 2013.
Yes.
Okay, what happened with this lease?
What happened was that from day 1, we started getting bit. It smelled like dog, and so we thought it was fleas. We started bombing the place twice a month, and then eventually we thought there were spider bites because we kept bombing and they just kept
Well, did you
biting
tell
us.
the defendant about the bed bugs when you first discovered them?
We let him know when once he left to Denmark for a whole month, and the roof pretty much started leaking because it started raining. It just poured in. It was like a rainforest inside. Also, the front door, it didn't even lock properly. It didn't even close properly. We had to put a paint bucket just to close it because it would just slam right open with a little bit of wind. They pretty much, my roommates, decided to move out. I lost my friendship with them because I was defending him. I was thinking that he was a good guy.
Why would you be doing that based on everything that you just described to me?
I liked the apartment. I just didn't like the situations that were occurring every month, every single time. There was like,
so besides the bugs, the leak, and the door not shutting, everything else was great?
Yeah, I mean, it's San Francisco. You can't really find an apartment that easily, and also it's spacious, and you don't really find that in San Francisco.
They leave the apartment, and what do you do?
I was going to school. I was in my last quarter, and I needed to graduate. My job was 10 minutes away, so I found it convenient for me to stay there.
So you signed another lease?
A new lease, yes. Yes.
All right, I'll hear from you, Mr. Bailey. That's just crazy to me. I mean, you've told me about all these issues and all these problems. He's this huge slumlord, and then you're like, okay, but I'll stay for another year.
I didn't think he was the slumlord until I actually vacated the place.
All right.
I thought he was a good man.
What's going on here, sir?
This is ridiculous.
All right.
5 months after she and her friends signed a lease, her friends tried to get
It was actually 3 months after.
Don't do that. Go ahead, Mr. Bailey.
Her 2 friends were trying to sue me. They wanted Linda to go in with them, and she came to me and told me this and said that she wanted to keep the apartment.
What were they trying to sue you for?
They were claiming that they were getting spider bites, and I didn't understand that. I've never had a problem with bugs there.
Okay, but did you come to learn that there were actually bed bugs that had infested the apartment?
A couple of months after Linda moved in. In December, Linda came to me and said, I'm getting bitten. And the 2, I called.
It was actually October.
Stop interrupting.
Okay.
He stood there and didn't say a word while you testified.
I apologize.
Show him the same respect and show the court the same respect.
I'll show the court the same respect.
When Linda brought up to me that there was a problem, I found out we did have bed bugs.
Okay, so what did you do about it when you found out?
What did I do about it? I tried to schedule the exterminators to come over, and I told Linda that she had brought in these bed bugs.
Doesn't matter where they came from, you have bed bugs in the unit. And as a landlord, it's your responsibility to get rid of them. So did you ever schedule an exterminator to come out and treat the apartment?
Yes.
Okay, when was that?
That was as Linda was moving out. In February.
Oh, so it was only after she moved out?
Correct.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
I built an apartment there. I live there also.
Right, but it's not up to code.
It's built to code, but it is not legal to be living there.
And later, has his trip on the gravy train finally come to an end?
He was having too much fun. He was the happily divorced guy out having fun, partying, buying a new car. That's how we felt looking at it.
Wait, he bought a new car?
At one point in time, he even
so
told
you're
us
just
that,
not even trying to pay him back. That's what it is.
That
You're not even making an
off.
effort.
The plaintiff is suing for a refund of her rental deposit on a bedbug-ridden apartment. The defendant says his tenant trashed the apartment and is countersuing.
This is a commercial lease?
Yes.
So no one's actually supposed to be living in this apartment as a residential apartment?
That's correct. It's not legal.
Okay, so why are you renting it out to Miss Aguayo and her friends?
I built an apartment there. I live there also.
Right, but it's not up to code.
Well, it's built to code, but it is not legal to be living there.
Did you know this was a commercial lease, Miss Aguayo?
No, he passed it out of a residential lease, and then after I signed it, I looked. I know it was my fault for not reading it. But
well, no, you signed this document, And it is presumed under the law when you sign a document that you read the contents. So to come in here today and say, well, I didn't read it, I just signed it, that's not good enough.
I trust the judgment of my roommates.
Why would you trust the judgment of your roommates?
We were really good friends.
Well, no, this is after your roommates have moved out. This is when you are now signing a lease with Mr. Bailey. You've already told me you had bugs. You already told me there was a leak. You already told me the door wouldn't close. So whose judgment are you trusting now, except your own?
I was also trusting that he wasn't a bad man. I was trusting that, because he would tell us, oh, you can live here, just don't tell my landlord. And so I didn't want to get him in trouble. I wanted to live there, you know?
Is that why you went to my landlord?
I mean, that's what the bottom line is. You were willing to.
I went there to find out
Don't
who
speak
he
to her
was.
directly. Talk to me.
Okay.
There are a couple of issues in this case. First, I'm going to deal with your counterclaim, because I am quite surprised that you would come in and file a counterclaim knowing that you're renting an illegal, bed bug infested, leaky, perhaps even moldy apartment to a bunch of 22-year-olds, and you can come in here and think that you have some kind of claim under the law. It's like coming in and, and saying, this drug deal went bad. I tried to sell her cocaine and she didn't pay me for cocaine, judge, and I want to come in here now and you solve this problem because she breached the contract with our cocaine agreement. It's illegal, and I can't do that. And just like this lease is illegal, you have an issue because the only legal right you have under an illegal lease is the right to evict. Who's your witness here today?
My sister.
Hi.
Hi.
Step over to the lectern. What do you have to add to this case?
I was there for the verbal agreements at the end when he said that my sister was gonna have her full deposit and also that she could move. And basically at that point, I was also there when she was struggling with this. She was working 2 jobs, she was a student, and she was thinking about postponing school just to be able to deal with the bed bugs and still work.
You know what? I would actually be more sympathetic to her because I remember when I was your age and I was getting my first apartment on my own and what that meant to me, to be independent, to be in school, working and everything. What makes me less sympathetic is you knew that all of these issues were happening. Your friends had sense enough to move out and you signed another lease for another year. I mean, I can't relate to that decision and what your thinking was when you did that. The other issue is, you signed a commercial lease. You knew that this lease was not meant for people to live there. And so you had knowledge that this was an illegal lease. You don't get to recover your security deposit. You forfeit that money as well because the two of you knowingly entered into an illegal contract. But here's what I am going to do. I don't think anyone should have to live with bed bugs. So my judgment in this case is for the plaintiff for $169. I think you should pay her and reimburse her for having to pay for those bed bugs and treat those bed bugs because that was not her responsibility. That's your responsibility as the landlord. And as for your counterclaim, 0. That's my judgment. Have a good day, folks.
Plaintiffs Cornell and Mackenzie Whitney say their credit is being ruined because his cousin, defendant Keenan Douglas, stopped making payments on a wedding ring that was paid for using their credit. Keenan says he started paying on the wedding ring, but it's no longer in his possession. He's refusing to make any additional payments.
Mr. and Mrs. Whitney, you brought your cousin to court today because you say he owes you $2,892 for a wedding ring that you helped him purchase. Mr. Douglas, you say there is nothing saying you have to pay for the ring and you are not going to pay for a ring that you don't have, so you owe them nothing. How do you know the defendant?
He is my husband's cousin.
Yeah,
okay.
He's my cousin. Actually, it started about 3 years ago. He came to me and asked me, could I co-sign for him to get a ring? He decided he's gonna get married. He met the girl of his dreams. He wanted to get married, so he wanted to help to get a ring.
Hold on for a second. Is this your first cousin?
Yes,
Are you guys close?
Yeah,
Did
we
you
all
grow up
grew
together? Tell me a little bit
house.
about your background.
Yeah, we moved from South America. We were about, I don't know, we was about 3, I was about 5. We all grew up in the same house together. We grew up like brothers. We hung out together. Like I said, he felt comfortable enough to come ask me to co-sign a ring for him. I decided that, hey, he was trying to change his life around. He was trying to do things, he was trying to do something better. We thought it was something positive. So like, hey, we'll help you out. It didn't seem like anything at that point in time was a problem because he had a good job. He was making pretty good money, so we felt comfortable going and being a co-signer for him at that point in
Well,
time.
if he had a good job and he was making good money, why did he need for you to co-sign? Why couldn't he get a ring on his own?
Coming up, this defendant gets a reality check.
Me and my wife decided to split and go our ways. We came into agreement. She said she wanted to keep the ring.
Last I heard, the ring was pawned.
Whatever happened with your marriage, you still have an agreement with them for the loan on the ring.
Plaintiffs Cornell and Mackenzie Whitney say their credit is being ruined because his cousin, defendant Keenan Douglas, stopped making payments on a wedding ring that was paid for using their credit.
Why couldn't he get a ring on his own?
Well, when we went into the office, to the jewelry store, the lady said that he just didn't have strong enough credit. She didn't describe exactly what the reasons why. She just said his credit wasn't strong enough to be able to get the ring when we were there.
It's not really about having enough credit, it's about having bad credit. And when you have bad credit, that means that someone doesn't pay their bills.
At that point in time, we didn't think it was bad credit. We thought like he was young, because we went through the same situation. Like I knew it was hard to be able to sign for stuff being young on your own.
How much was the ring that he wanted to purchase?
It was about $2,400.
Okay, so you went to your cousin.
Yes, ma'am.
And you felt comfortable enough to ask him to co-sign for your ring?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about that.
I tried to go get the ring on my own, but as he said, my credit wouldn't allow me to. So I called my cousin up and asked him, you know, do you mind co-signing for a ring for me? He was like, fine, okay, he'll do it.
And you have proof now of how much is still remaining on the ring?
Yes.
And what happened with the debt? Did you ever pay it off?
No, right now it's still sitting in collections. They call us every day.
Okay, so it went to collections.
Yes, it's in collections at this point in time. Like I said, credit is going down the drain at this point in time.
Okay, so let me see your evidence there. Why did you fall behind on the payments? What happened?
When I first got married, you know, we had bills, so I really couldn't make the
And this was one of them?
Yeah, it was. I really couldn't make the $200 payments like I said I would, but I was making some type of payment on there.
At that point, we contacted Keenan to get the ring back, and they weren't together anymore. So we had to then contact her.
Okay, so they're not together anymore.
We're not together.
Okay, and she still has the ring.
Yeah,
you don't have the ring.
No, she has the ring.
Okay, all right.
Well,
but you
we don't
still
know
made the loan with them. That's the issue.
Yes.
At this point in time, we don't know who has the ring, Your Honor. Last I heard, the ring was pawned. When we tried to get it back, the ring was in pawn. We couldn't get the ring at that point in time. That's what she told us.
So what is your defense? Because you admit to making this agreement with them, and they helped you get the ring out of the kindness of their own hearts, and you actually proposed to your fiance, who eventually became your wife, with the ring. What is your defense for not paying for the ring at this point?
I paid for the ring when it was my responsibility, but then when me and my wife decided to split and go our ways, we came into agreement. She said she wanted to keep the ring, and I was like, well, you know the situation on the ring.
But she doesn't have an agreement with them. You have the agreement with them. Whatever happened with your marriage has no bearing on your agreement with them. Just because your marriage didn't work out, just because the two of you split up and she took the ring with her, you still have an agreement with them for the loan on the ring.
Right, but then when they call...
So why aren't you paying it? Why haven't you paid it?
It's not. I don't feel like it's my responsibility no more.
Well, it's not about what you feel like. I didn't ask you how you felt. I asked why aren't you paying for the ring? It is your responsibility.
It is?
You made the loan. You made the loan with them. Your agreement is with them. You're not telling me anything that's a legitimate reason as to why you aren't paying for this ring. I think what you want to say is, well, I feel like I don't have to pay it because I'm divorced from my wife and I don't care about their ring anymore. But they care about their credit. They care about the loan that you took out from them, that they had to take out on your behalf.
That's fair.
I don't know. After a while, it seemed like he was having too much fun. He was the happily divorced guy out having fun, partying.
Oh, okay.
Buying a new car. That's how we felt looking at it.
Wait, he bought a new car?
Yeah, he bought a new. At one point in time, he even told us that.
Oh, so you're just not even trying to pay them back. That's what it is. You're not even making an effort.
He was going to sell his old car. Once he sold his old car, he was going to get the money from that old car, and he's going to pay the ring off. Well, kind of find out from social media. We didn't even find out on our own. Social media showed us that he got a new car, and we were just like,
people are always
we have
costly.
pictures
What was
of
it,
the old
Facebook?
car and the new car.
Barbara, would you hand that to me? People
I had to get a new car,
costly.
Your Honor, because I had to get transportation to move around.
This is the
So
old
I did. So I did sell my old car, but I still had to get a new car to move around with.
Old car, new car.
Okay, there we go. I was going to buy the J's for Christmas, but I bought something better. LOL, Merry Christmas to me.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
So is that the new car?
That is the new car.
Okay, all right. So at this point, you're just picking and choosing what you want to spend your money on, and you've chosen because you're divorced and things didn't work out with your wife. She's gone on about her business. You don't want to pay for the ring anymore. That's what this is about. It's not that you can't pay for the ring. You've just decided you don't want to pay for the ring. But it's unfortunate because your cousin stuck his neck out on the line. They stuck their necks out on the line for you, and you're ruining their credit. That's not fair to them. And see, that's the problem. It just looks like it's a slap in their face. Because you owe money to them, but you're on Facebook posing pictures with the door. What is that, a suicide door?
I had that car before we even made this payment. This agreement. So that wasn't something that was fixed up after I made this agreement. That car was like that.
You do look like you're kind of broke in that photo, though, I have to admit.
I look broke.
I'm just messing with you. All right, so what's your defense?
Me and my wife, okay, she decided she wanted to keep the ring, and she knew the situation on the ring, so I told her, I said, look, if you want to keep the ring, you know you got to pay out the rest of this balance on this ring. So she was fine with that. They even called her, contacted her, and made an agreement like he said of whatever, $300 for the minimum to start out with or whatever. And when she didn't go through with that payment, then they came back to prosecute me.
They just want their money. They just want to be paid back. That's the bottom line. You bought the ring under the condition that you would pay it off. You wanted to be able to propose to your fiancé and get married. Unfortunately for you, that relationship did not work out, but the termination of that relationship did not terminate your agreement to them and to pay off the loan that you made with them. And a couple of things I want to say, you shouldn't do your cousin like this. He just talked about how you guys grew up together, how close you were, and how close that you are as a family, and you shouldn't be doing your cousin like this. Like, he did something really nice for you, him and his wife, and they didn't have to do that, but they were just looking out for you and your best interest when you said that you met the love of your life. So you should make every effort to pay them back the money that you owe them. They put their credit on the line, they put their good name on the line. They're a young couple trying to make it in this world just like you are. So show them some respect, pay off your loans when they're due, and pay them the money. My verdict is for the plaintiffs in this case, $2,892.00.
The courtroom is flooded with accusations.
The pipe broke. It wasn't my pipe. It was a washing machine pipe.
Yeah, it was your pipe, and you're a liar, and the words you breathe is the lies you tell. Yeah, that's not from no washing machine. Because if it was the washing machine, the whole thing would have came down with the washing machine.
You have come into court today, and I'm looking at photos of an entire ceiling in her unit. Don't interrupt me again.
And was there fraud and deception in this car sale?
I have children. I took money, food out of my kids' mouth to give you money for a car you knew didn't work.
April, you shouldn't be talking to me like that. You know me. You know who I am.
You know
so
who
you
I
can't
am
come
too.
here. You can't come here and tell me all that story.
I gave you $2,800 and you sold me a
Sir, are you a mechanic for a living?
Plaintiff Sean Robinson is suing her former landlord for the return of her security deposit and for damages to her personal property. Defendant Sam Ranani says he owes nothing and the damages are not his responsibility. He is countersuing for unpaid rent.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, we have Robinson versus Ranani.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, Ms. Sean Robinson?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Sam Ranani, for $4,826, the amount you said he owes you for your security deposit and property damage.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ranani, you are countersuing for $6,437 for back rent the plaintiff owes?
Yes.
Okay, so we will start with you, Ms. Robinson. When did you first start leasing a unit from the defendant?
It was in September of 2012.
Okay, and what kind of unit was it?
It was a very small, rat-infested, roach-infested
it wasn't not
apartment
small. It was a
that was very small.
Excuse me, sir. I can't hear her.
And also, Ranani got money from assistance from me to move in that apartment in May of 2012.
This is an apartment in New York?
Yes, the Bronx of New York.
And how did you come to find this apartment?
Well, I found this apartment through a real estate broker who was also conniving. Him and Sam was in cahoots.
She came out of the shelter.
Yes, I was displaced.
So what did she came out of the shelter?
I was displaced, and I had to come up with $3,800 before he allowed me to get the keys to move into that apartment. When Section 8 was already giving them the money for me to move in, they was waiting for me to come up with extra money extra monies that I really didn't have.
Ma'am, let me ask you a question. Did you sign a lease for this apartment?
Yes, not until I gave them $3,800.
Okay, you gave $3,800. How much was your monthly rent?
My rent was $1,413.
Okay, how much of that did Section 8 pay?
$112 and some change. They paid for me.
Did you pay a security deposit?
Yes.
How much did you give as a security deposit?
$1,413 for a security deposit.
Same as 1 month's rent.
$1,413 for 1 month's rent.
I was a nice guy giving her the apartment.
If you was a nice guy giving me anything, you wouldn't have me in court right now. You would have gave me my security deposit back, and also you would have gave me my money for my property damage when that pipe burst in that old
the pipe broke. It wasn't my pipe. It was a washing machine pipe.
Yeah, it was your pipe, and you're a liar, and the words you breathe is the lies you tell.
There was a washing machine pipe. It broke from the tenant upstairs.
So let's talk about the property damage, which is the first part of your lawsuit.
Yes, I have photos,
You
Your
said
Honor.
what month and year? You said a pipe burst.
That was in April of 2012.
Okay. What happened? Were you home?
No, I was not home.
Tell me what
My son
happened.
called me and told me that water was pouring from the ceiling. So I raced home, and when I got home, I saw about 1.5 inches of water from the front door all the way to my bedroom. There was water. Everything that was on the floor got damaged. The only thing I required for him to do at that point was replace my television I just bought.
Did you get a call from the plaintiff telling you that a pipe burst and she had water in her unit?
It wasn't. I got a call.
Okay.
My super went up there, and we checked it out. The tenant above wasn't home. She wasn't home. So at nighttime, when the tenant came home, the super went upstairs, and he saw
You're lying.
Excuse me, ma'am. Please don't interrupt.
from a washing machine, which belongs
Sam,
to
you
the
lying
tenant.
because you showed up while I was there.
Ma'am,
it doesn't belong
I need
to
to hear his version of,
yes,
of these
I'm
events,
sorry.
okay?
So what happened
I don't want to
was,
dismiss your case, but if you
I'm
keep
sorry.
talking.
So what happened was, my super checked it out, and she wouldn't let him in like 2 weeks after to fix it. But when he checked it, he saw that it was leaking from the washing machine upstairs. He closed the washing machine, disconnected. He told the lady upstairs, don't use the washing machine, because you're causing a leak
So you're
downstairs.
saying that the water damage in her apartment was caused by a leak from a washing machine in the upstairs apartment?
Above her, in the kitchen.
Let me see the
There's no way, Your Honor. Here are the
please.
photos. That water also had water leakage in my bathroom. Pipes were bursting all through that apartment.
Let's look
That's
at this
how
on the flat
corroded
screen.
it was. This is how the ceiling collapsed in the kitchen from water, supposedly
The
from a
leak came from the
washing
washing
machine.
machine.
That was a pipe burst, and it was
It wasn't
no
a pipe
water
burst,
upstairs.
it was a washing machine.
Because I went upstairs, and you're lying, Sam. Yeah, that's not from no washing machine. Because if it was a washing machine, the whole thing would have came down with the washing machine.
The sheetrock, right? The sheetrock falls down because any little bit of water goes into the ceiling.
No, sir.
It falls down.
I'm looking at 2 photos here. That's of a ceiling.
Right.
And it's your testimony that a washing machine caused that kind of damage to the ceiling to her unit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the nightmare gets worse when it goes from falling ceilings to this.
It was infested with rodents, Your Honor, roaches and rats. I woke up, a mouse was in my bed. I had to get a stray cat.
And later, some she said, he said with a broken down car.
You brought a car to the shop and I replaced the people.
You did not
and you know
replace.
that.
No, you
I
did not. No, you never replaced anything.
You drove the car for about 3 months.
You never replaced anything on that
was it
vehicle.
running?
Plaintiff Sean Robinson is suing her former landlord for the return of her security deposit and damages. Defendant Sam Ranani says he owes nothing and the damages are not his responsibility.
So what did you do to repair this damage, sir?
The super, and we closed the water first in the washing machine.
Yeah, the fire department had to come out and shut off the water because it was a main water line break.
It wasn't a water main.
It was
a washing machine.
You're lying.
Did the fire department respond?
I didn't see no fire department. No fire department.
So to your knowledge, the fire department did not respond?
No fire department. The super came upstairs and shut the washing machine off.
Okay. You say, ma'am, as a result of this leak, you had property in your unit that was damaged inside, not just the unit itself, but in your apartment.
My property got damaged
okay. Do you have proof of those damages?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me see the proof of the damages.
And according to the lease,
yes,
the landlord is not responsible for any damage if it wasn't, he's not negligent.
I submitted the
right,
document
which is why
for...
it would be in your best interest to come in here and have me to believe that that amount of water came from a washing machine and not from a plumbing problem.
It wasn't a
pipe
plumbing problem,
in
it was
the
a washing
building.
machine.
Was the television
The washing machine didn't belong to me.
I'm looking at photos of an entire ceiling in her unit.
So it's a damage.
Don't
So, okay,
interrupt
but-
me again.
Okay.
You have come into court today and you have submitted to me no proof that that amount of water damage came from a washing machine in a unit above the plaintiff's unit. And I think your testimony that that amount of water came from a washing machine defies credibility, sir. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, but I'm saying differently.
The security deposit, which you told me you paid $1,413.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
said you did not get that when you moved out of this
Not
unit.
at all. And if I owed him...
What's the month and date that you moved out?
I moved out in February because I moved into a new apartment in February. I got my lease on February 1st, 2013.
Sir, why did you not return her security deposit in the amount of $1,413? Why did you keep that?
It wasn't a security, it was a voucher. Section 8 gives you a voucher. There was no money involved.
Section 8 give you part of it. They give you half of the rent.
Okay,
they give
do you have proof that you paid?
Yes, I have proof. Here are my receipts.
Barbara, would you hand me that,
Didn't
please?
think I had them, huh? Paid.
Okay, and the plaintiff has handed me 2 money orders that total the amount of $1,413. Why did you not return the security deposit?
They gave us a voucher.
you're too busy
There was
trying
no
to
money
steal.
given to me. So
Let's
I know
go
this
to your
voucher is
counterclaim.
security.
You
Get
have
your
a
lies
counterclaim for $6,437 for back rent.
What?
And the plaintiff's son living in the apartment. Now,
With his girlfriend.
Ms. Robinson, you told me you moved out of the unit February of 2013.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, what months are you saying that the plaintiff did not pay rent to you?
We didn't receive it for about 4 months.
Okay, and so your evidence is a statement that you and your company created to give to me, correct?
Yeah, well, yes.
Okay. In February of 2013, when you moved out of the unit, the defendant claims that your son remained in the unit for several months.
No, he did
Is
not.
that true?
No.
He did.
What
He
proof
never
do you
gave
have?
us the key.
Your Honor, he was
He didn't
busting
turn in the
down
key.
walls.
Did the plaintiff
before
return,
I
We
moved out.
didn't
did the
the
plaintiff
phone
return
to
keys to you, sir?
No, she never gave us the key.
So
He is
is
a
your
liar.
testimony the plaintiff never returned keys to you?
No.
Okay.
He never gave it to me or the
If
super.
I
And what
owed
proof
you
do
money,
you have
why
of
you
that?
didn't take me to court? Why I have to bring you to court? If I owed you, you would have been took me to court a long time ago. Here it is almost 2 years later, and I'm taking you to court. That's because you owe.
Okay.
Your Honor, I am requesting an additional $1,413 because I had to turn around and move after I just moved in there, and for pain and suffering living with roaches and rats in my bed.
I have no roaches and I have no rats.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
What do you mean by that?
It was infested with rodents, Your Honor. Roaches and rats. I woke up,
There
a
was
mouse
no
was in
roaches,
my
no
bed.
rodent.
I had to get a stray cat. I had to get a stray cat to keep the mouse down.
Okay, here's my ruling in this case. On your counterclaim for the amount of $6,437, I'm dismissing it in its entirety because you came into court today and you brought me no evidence to show that the defendant owes back rent. You brought no evidence to show that her son continued to live in the unit when she moved out. You brought no evidence to show that she breached the lease, besides your own in-house created documents, which I am not going to rely on in this case. So on your counterclaim, sir, dismissed, you get 0. On your claim, ma'am, I find the defendant's testimony that that amount of water damage was caused by a washing machine to be completely incredible. I don't know, sir, if you think because you have Section 8 tenants and because they came from a shelter that you can just sort of say whatever you want to them and get away with it, but it's not going to work for me when you come into court. And you owe the money. So she has shown me
Shame on
sufficient
you.
proof that she paid a security deposit in the amount of $1,413. I'm going to order you to return her security deposit in that amount. I am also going to order you to pay damages based on the receipts that the plaintiff gave me in the amount of $500. So my judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,913. Pay the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Plaintiff April Wilcoxon is suing her former friend for the cost of a car and towing fees. Defendant George Pay says the car was fine when he sold it and the sale was as is.
Okay, Miss April Wilcoxon?
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing the defendant George Pay for $3,005 for the cost of a car and towing fees. You say he sold you a car and it turned out to be a lemon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why don't you tell me what happened? First, how do you know the defendant?
I know him from church. Your Honor, I'm here today because I'm a single mother of 2 kids, and I've been deceived by someone that I trusted and had integrity because I know him from church.
You were not deceived.
I was deceived. No. If you'll let me finish. So I told my aunt that I was looking for a vehicle. She let me know that Mr. Pay had something available at his shop. So I stopped by and had a look at a Volvo. It was a burgundy Volvo.
What year?
2001.
Okay.
It didn't look raggedy or anything like that, and I'm not a mechanic, so I asked him what was wrong with it. He said nothing. We negotiated a price. He said he started out at $3,000, but he said $2,800 would be good, and we agreed to that. So I visited his shop again to take a test drive for the vehicle. The radio wasn't working, so when I came back to the shop after the test drive...
But I told you the radio was not working, and I replaced the radio. Did I replace the radio?
You did not tell me that.
Next on Judge Faith, from a broken radio to billowing smoke.
I had to swerve across traffic to pull off of the expressway and pull onto a main street, and that's where the car completely shut off. It started billowing white smoke. I mean, it was just, it just stopped completely.
Plaintiff April Wilcoxon says the defendant sold her a car he knew was a lemon, and she is suing for a refund. Defendant George Pay says the car was absolutely fine.
So after you test drove it, how much time passed before you went back to buy the car?
No more than a week.
Okay.
I gave him $1,800 in a check and $1,000 cash. He gave me the key and the bill of sale.
That's not true.
Okay, so you did sign a bill of sale for the car?
Yes,
May I see it, please?
How's that not true? What do you mean that ain't true?
Did you bring a photo of the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's pull that photo up on the flat screen, please. Before you purchased the car, did you take it to a mechanic, another mechanic, an independent mechanic, to have the car checked out?
No, I trusted him. Based off the fact that I know him from church, I thought he had integrity. I didn't have the time to take it to another mechanic.
So you just decided to pray on it?
Yeah, I prayed about it. It wasn't just about prayer. It was the fact that I'd known him for so long, and as well as where I knew him from.
So, in looking at the bill of sale, what did he tell you about the car when he sold it to you?
When I asked him what was wrong with it, he said nothing was wrong with it. So when I found out about the radio, I asked him, was he going to fix that? He said yes. After I bought it, he fixed it.
What ended up happening with the car?
Well, about a week after I bought the car, it started cutting off on me. It would just, I would drive and it just cuts off, and then I had to re-crank it, it'll crank back up. So when I called him, he said, oh yeah, it's the fuel filter or the fuel pump. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me that when I asked you?
No, that's not what you say.
That's not what I said.
You brought a car to the shop and I replaced the fuel pump.
You did not replace.
Know that.
No, you did not. No, you never replaced anything.
You drove the car for about 3 months.
You never replaced anything on that vehicle.
Was it running?
No, it wasn't.
Sir, let me ask you a question. When was after you sold the plaintiff the car, when was the first time you heard from her that there was a problem with it?
The next week.
Okay, the following week.
Yeah.
And that's when you say she brought it in?
She brought it in for the radio.
And then the next time you heard from her was when?
A week later.
A week later?
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened? And did he do anything to fix that?
How you know I didn't do nothing?
What you mean, how do I know? I never saw you
after the fuel pump issue, how long did you drive the car after that?
About a month and a half.
Okay, and then what happened?
Come May the 25th, I'm driving on a 5-lane expressway. The car starts sputtering. I had to swerve across traffic to pull off of the expressway and pull onto a main street, and that's where the car completely shut off. It started billowing white smoke. I mean, it was just, it just stopped completely.
And how long did you have the car then?
Exactly 2 months, because I bought it March and it was May when it cut out.
And have you driven since then, since the incident in May?
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Sir, you want to say something?
Well, she
He
called
about to
me.
lie. That's why he can't talk. He about to lie.
She called me, April, you shouldn't be talking to me like that. You know me. You know who I am.
You know
so
who
you
I
can't
am,
come
too.
here. You can't come here and tell me all that
I gave
story.
you $2,800 and you sold me a
Sir, are you a mechanic for a
Yes,
living?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you also, do you sell cars on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Okay, and so I'm looking at the bill of sale here, and it says here the purchase price for the vehicle, $2,800, and you believe that the car is in good condition.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's the thing, whenever someone buys a used car, by law, it's an as-is sale.
Correct.
So that means buyer beware.
However,
so
Your
that
Honor,
means take it or leave it. But if you take it without taking it to a mechanic, you take your chances. And you already told me that you trusted him because he was a church member and that you've known him for all those years. Well, perhaps that's a lesson that you learned. Just because someone goes to your church doesn't mean that they, and I'm not saying that you did anything intentionally, but I'm just saying that it's not about trust. It's about you doing your due diligence when you buy a car.
I
what
did,
you have
and
to do,
I have
okay?
an estimate of such thing. I did take it to another mechanic.
But after you purchased it.
I'm not the only person. I didn't find that out until he did that to me, and it's not right. It's not
That's
fair.
not true.
I have children. I took money, food out of my kids' mouth to give you money for a car you knew didn't work.
Ma'am, the responsibility is on the buyer to have the car checked out before you purchase it. So my judgment in this case is for the defendant.